The Road Glide is going back under the knife. Today we're going to install front cartridges and rear shocks from GP Suspension. We're going to go ahead and get this unboxed and show you everything that's going on the Road Glide. Like, we got a couple shirts in here. Oh, that's sick. Check that out. Just the GP Suspension logo. That's sick too. This hoodie is super sick. That's gangster. I like that a lot. All right, now to the stuff you guys really want to see. Any guesses to what's in this box? We're about to find out. Ooh. All right. Ooh, those are good looking. Those are money. So these are the 13.5 to 14 inch remote reservoirs. I'll be running them at 14 inch. So these are some tools that you'll need if you're installing the GP cartridges. Like, this is their cartridge top cap tool. And then this little bar that just kind of threads onto the cartridge while you're installing it. Keep in mind, this is not an install video. GP has really good install videos on their YouTube. I'll link them below. And I'm also not a mechanic, so if I can do this myself, then you can do it yourself too. All right, I think you can probably tell what this is. I'm gonna keep them wrapped up for now just because I don't want to risk getting them scratched or anything, but these are 49mm fork tubes. There's a couple reasons that I went with new fork tubes. One, I went with black instead of chrome, so they're gonna look super sick on the bike. Two, and I'll show you later when we kind of get to it, there's a piece that needs to be machined out from your stock ones to fit the GP cartridges. If you order these from GP, that part is already machined out. So it just makes installation a lot easier. And then obviously it's gonna look way better than the stock chrome. Here they are, the GP cartridges. I've heard nothing but amazing things about these. This is definitely what I'm most excited to get on the bike today. Like I've said, I've heard nothing but incredible things about these cartridges, so I'm super excited to get these on the bike. See if I can get that to focus. These are so sick looking. I love like just the small details, like the American flag there, and then the GP logo. And then you can control your preload and your rebound from these two. This is what we're gonna start with today, is the front suspension. So now that we've unboxed everything, gonna go ahead and get the bike on the lift, get started on tearing apart the suspension, and then getting these installed, and then we'll work our way to the back. One thing that's worth mentioning is every kit that's ordered from GP Suspension is tailored to that rider. They're gonna ask you your weight, your riding style, what bike you ride, if you have a passenger most of the time or not. Then they're gonna tailor make your suspension for you. So you're gonna get different spring rates. So when you get these installed, your suspension should be set up pretty perfect. Obviously you might have to go in, make some adjustments to get it really dialed in, but it should be pretty perfect right out of the box, which isn't something that all suspension manufacturers do. Some manufacturers, it's just one spring rate. You have to go in and set the compression yourself, and it just doesn't perform well as something like this. So keep that in mind if you are looking to get suspension. You know, it's worth doing your research and finding the best performing suspension, not just the suspension that has the biggest name. This is 100% my opinion. I'll always keep it real with you guys. GP sent me this stuff, but they did not pay me to make these videos, so all the opinions that you see in this video are mine and mine alone. This new Ultra Vice Guava from Monster is my jam. I've been drinking these every day. They're so good. Ooh, that's crispy. I'm gonna get my table cleared, get the bike put on, and get to work. All right, first things first, we're gonna get this front end torn down, and then we're gonna start taking the forks apart so we can rebuild them with the cartridges. All right, we got both forks off the bike. Now it's time to get these taken apart so we can replace the shock tube and obviously the cartridge. One thing I don't have that would definitely help is a vise. We're doing this old school way. We're just without fancy tools or anything like that. Just kind of want to show you guys, you know, you don't have to be a master tech to get stuff like this done. Just like that. These forks aren't stock. I am already 2 up. I just have springs and gold valve emulators. They're the Race Tech, and they're really good. But what I found is I'm having a hard time kind of balancing and finding like a happy medium. Like either my front's too stiff or my rear's too stiff. And I'm trying to find that like a good balancing act for that. And I just can't really seem to find that. And I'm really hoping that with doing GP in the front and rear, and the way that they set up their suspension, I'll have a lot easier time kind of finding that balance between, you know, the front and the rear. So I'm not feeling like I'm dipping too much or feel like I'm not, you know, connecting in the corners and stuff like that. Look at this guy. Dodgers won last night. He comes repping. Look at that. A little bit of panda action. Can always count on Michael. Michael always brings the best food. Thanks, dude.
I'm always hungry.
Me too. It sucks doing this project today because it's such a nice day. Like, we should be out riding. But it would also suck to do this project in the miserable cold too. What up? We almost lost Steven to a tragic motorcycle car accident. Boy got hit on his motorcycle and he survived.
You're walking.
Now
You're walking. Yeah. You have a boot on.
I do, but
my buddy Cody started making these, always riding places, hoodies, or I don't know if they make hoodies. I know they make shirts and socks. Pretty dope though. Check them out, always riding places. So this is what I was talking about earlier. This piece right here holds your fork dampener into the fork. So if you're doing cartridges, you have to get rid of this piece. The new ones, as you can see through it pretty easy, but there's no, like, those get machined out. So if you buy them from GP, they'll machine that out for you. If not, if you're using your stock ones, you'll have to machine that out or drill that out. So it's probably worth getting the new ones just so you don't have to machine that out. It's probably kind of a headache. It's probably not a big deal for some people out there. It's probably pretty easy, but for guys like me, it's probably a little easier just to go with the aftermarket and not have to deal with that headache. All right, we got the first tube done. As you can see, we got the black DLC coated. Looks super sick. We got the top on there. Looks super rad. Super stoked. It wasn't too hard to get together, but now that I know what I'm doing, the second one will be a lot easier. So we're gonna go ahead, get the second one done, get these put back on the bike, get the front end put back on, and then do the back end. All right, got the front end bolted back up. These look super sick. So I've still got to shave down that nacelle so that you can see this whole thing. But again, just the details like the GP, the American flag, all that, super sick. Just a tiny bit of bling on the bike. Okay, here's where I'm at. I'm about 98% done. The shocks are on, the remote reservoirs are on with the brackets. Look absolutely dialed. As you can see, the forks are on and the front end is completely put back together. So here's kind of my dilemma and what I need to finish on the bike. This nacelle obviously goes on the back end of these gauges. I don't want those to be exposed, but I want this to be exposed. So what I've done on this side is I shaved this nacelle down so that this is completely open so that I can get to my preload, I can get to my rebound, all that. But I'm just not happy with how this looks. I think it looks a lot better when it's just exposed completely, but that leaves me with this being exposed. So I think what I'm gonna do is just cut the back end of this nacelle completely off and then just basically leave that exposed, and then the back end of the nacelle will clip together and then just screw in. Hopefully that's enough to just kind of keep it on there. So hopefully that's enough, but I think that's what I'm gonna do. I've been kind of going back and forth on what to do, you know, and I've kind of shaved this down, but I've just been unhappy with how it looks. But I just got another package in the mail that I wanna show you guys. Well, two actually. Also along, I've been running these Michelin Commander 3s, and let me tell you, I've put these tires through the absolute ringer. Whether I'm riding in rain, snow, extreme heat, across state lines, or up canyons, these tires have been absolutely phenomenal. I had to stock up on more. And then here's the second thing. I just got this from Harley-Davidson. To be honest, I have no clue what's inside of this, so we're gonna find out together. These are like some really, really nice waterproof rain pants. Those are super nice. This is super rad. It's an extra small, so I think they threw this one in for my wife, but that shirt is super sick. This is so sick. In the back, I gotta try some of these on. Another one, sick. Looks like it's kind of like a hand-drawn logo. That is super sick. It's got the Willie G signature on there. Super sick. I don't know what this is. What the? Yo. That's sick. The On the Roam collection that they did with Jason Momoa. That is gangster. Thank you, Harley-Davidson. This is awesome. I definitely got to try this on. Now, this is so rad. I really like this. I've actually never owned a leather jacket before, but this is rad. I actually like when jackets fit a little bit shorter. Not that this one's like super short. I mean, it goes to my waistline, but when you're riding, you know, like they tend to bunch up if they're too long. I really like the fit of this. Thanks, Jason Momoa. Yeah, that's super sick. I really like that. I'm way into the more like boxy fit shirts. Kind of hide my belly. Yeah, that's super sick. Then the Willie G shirt. This is sick. I'm pretty sure all this stuff is from their like HD collections. I really like that. Again, I really like the fit of that. All right, we're gonna get this nacelle done because I wanna get the bike finished so I can go ride it, test out the GP suspension and see how it holds up, see how it performs. So that's what we're gonna start on now. It actually looks pretty dialed. Covers up the back end of the gauges. I still got to put a screw in there, but you can see the GP suspension. I'm pretty stoked on that. I'm going to get everything just kind of buttoned up, get the bags back on, and we're going to take the bike out. It's pretty cold out right now. It's only 45 degrees here in Utah. So I'm not sure how much riding I'll actually be doing. We'll probably have to wait till we can like get up a canyon and really push the bike and push the suspension to start making those fine-tune adjustments. The first thing that I noticed is the bike is looking absolutely proper. Like the stance is just perfect. The suspension definitely seems a bit more rigid, but the bike feels so much more planted to the ground now. So far, I'm absolutely stoked on how the suspension feels. The black front fork tubes look absolutely insane and just sets this bike off to a totally different level. And I love the way that the top of the cartridges look with the adjusters. And the rear piggybacks really just tie the whole bike together. So far, it seems like GP suspension is the real deal. If you want to see a full review on the suspension, make sure to hit subscribe because I'm going to put this suspension through the absolute ringer. I'm going to put it through all the paces and put it to the test and see if it can really perform. But I think I'll be pretty happy with the results. I want to give a huge shout out to GP Suspension for sending me this stuff. I'm absolutely stoked to be running GP on my bike. Also, if you're looking to make any upgrades on your bike, including GP suspension, make sure to check out tuckerspeed.com. I'll leave a link below in the description to give you 10% off your entire purchase. And if you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and we'll see you on the next one.